All right, guys, so interesting development. Obviously, as you can see, we got Brick to his new home for right now, so it's finally on level ground so I can look at what's going on. Battery was dead, so charged the battery up yesterday and cleaned up the battery terminal, so that's all good now. I still have to tighten everything, but it worked for now. And just for the hell of it, I was like, well, I'll turn the key, see if it's still doing the same thing it was before. And I'll be darned if it didn't fire up and run. So now I'm super confused, but I heard a little bit of clattering and whatnot, and it was kind of idling high. And I didn't try putting it in gear or anything, and I shut it down. I'm like, what the hell? So my first thing I wanted to do was check that flex plate. So I went and pulled the cover off to view the flex plate, and I will show you how that started my diagnosis on what is actually wrong with this 1991 beast. So I'll take you now under the truck. So as you can see, I popped this little cover off. It's just two 10mm bolts. Pop that cover off, and flex plate looks to be okay. Teeth aren't really chewed up or anything. The torque converter bolts and nut are still on there. So, well, at least I haven't turned the motor over yet, so I haven't completely checked it out. But there's a reason I haven't done that yet, and there's a reason why I'm not going to start this engine yet to show you guys that it runs, because I found a much bigger issue. Remember how I said that the previous owner wasn't exactly the smartest guy in the world because he had so much oil in this thing, and he refused that there was that much oil in it? But there was, obviously. I don't even know how to explain this because it's so stupid, and I've never ever ran across this, and I don't know how this thing ever drove at all while I owned it. If you take a peek there, I don't know if you can see that. I'll take my light away. That is daylight. See that? See that right there? And that right there? That is daylight. Daylight between the engine and the transmission. I'll say that again. You can see between the engine and the transmission. You should not be able to see between the engine and transmission. I am hoping and praying that all I have to do is find some bolts for the bell housing, which I should be able to just rob some out of our old 88 F150. That was just a small block in there too. So hopefully I can just rob some bolts out of that, throw them in here, and we're good. One bolt. There's the very top bolt, just one of them, holding that entire transmission to the engine. One bolt. So lucky for me, my grandpa still has his 88 F150 that he drove for basically my entire childhood, laying down here. It still ran and drove, but just it got really rusted out and really wasn't safe for the road anymore, so it's been just parked down here collecting dust and mice and rats and raccoons and everything, you name it. So it's just kind of been a parts truck for usually my crap that I bring home. So I think I'm going to rob all of the bell housing bolts out of this guy because it's never going to be put in service again. So let's try to get some bolts out. So we have a slight change of plans. My grandpa actually remembered the original motor out of this truck, our 65 F600, is laying in the pile over there and still has the bell housing on it. It's an inline 6-cylinder, but it should have the same bell housing as the 302 and 351 small block Ford. It should be all the same. So we're hoping it still has the bell housing on it. We're getting the backhoe out to try to lift this thing out of the wood pile and then rob the bolts out of that instead of lifting up the old 88 F150, because that's just going to be a lot more work. So let's hope it actually has a bell housing on it. This man is 79 years old. 79. He's in better shape than I am. That's a strong water pump right there. We got a bell housing. Better catch it. I don't know. Those are gonna be.
Put some ATF in the cylinders.
Yeah. Okay. Those are pretty rusty. Well, we're in luck. We have some bell housing bolts. They're a little rusty, but if they come out, we should be back in business. Oh, like butter. $1,000 snap-on impact gun for the win.
Yeah. This battery here's going bad on me.
If all else fails, I got my Milwaukee. Well, unfortunately, the bolts that we pulled out of the F600 motor over there, those bolts were way too long. So, unfortunately, we are back to our original plan A. So we gotta get this thing lifted up and rob these bell housing bolts off, which I know will actually work, but obviously it's a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So I guess let's start lifting this thing up and get to work. Gotta keep going up yet. A little water out of the bed.
Can you pull on this guy once? There you go.
Probably wait till it drops down.
You tell me when she's getting up there.
Alright.
It's connecting.
That sounded like the starter wasn't hitting the motor.
Let's see what she's turning. No, the motor's not turning.
No. Get a hammer.
Oh, we're gonna have to take this off. Oh, there we go. All right, try her once, Adam. Flex plate is shot. That's what I was afraid of.
It's turning. So we have all the bolts back in, but if you see this, okay, Sam, crank her. Okay, so we see starter hitting the flex plate, all good, but it sounds like the motor's not turning over. Okay, Sam, crank it. And the motor's not turning over. So that means our flex plate is broken. Well, unfortunately, we did not get lucky with Brick. He needs hopefully just a flex plate. Hopefully the crank isn't busted. That would really, really suck. But this wraps it up for Brick today in this video. I guess we'll have to be pulling the trans out. But it was a fun day on the farm. Got to play with the backhoe. And I think, just to end on a good note, I think we're gonna try to fire up the old Detroit diesel.
There's not enough for that battery.
Is it that or is it a bad connection?
What?
Try it once more real quick. Nope. Do it. Keys are in it.
This goes on the positive.
I got it hooked up here, so it's live. All right, give her.